So let me say this straight. If you think the president controls the economy, think again. It's the Federal Reserve. And the last time someone tried to fire the guy in charge, Wall Street practically broke out in hives. Yeah, this is where things get juicy. Today we're unpacking the financial cage match between President Trump and the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, rising inflation, and why your savings account might actually be bleeding money while smiling at you. And yes, I'm going to show you exactly why I said that the president doesn't pull the economic strings. Jerome Powell does. Buckle up. First up, the "you're fired" that really wasn't. So, Trump writes a letter, a bold, dramatic "you're fired" to Powell. The kind of thing that, makes headlines, upsets markets, and gives investors stress wrinkles. Then, the very next day, he backpedals like a teenager caught with a vape in gym class. I'm not planning to fire him just yet. So why the hesitation? Because firing the Fed chair doesn't just rattle the markets, it causes financial earthquakes. You see, the Fed is independent from the government. That's like putting your wildest friend in charge of your budget and just hoping for the best. But hey, at least they know what they're doing. Sometimes. By the way, hit that like button if you've ever thought about firing your bank for charging you $35 for having $2.17 in your account. Up next, the rate wars. Trump versus the Fed. Now look, Trump wanted interest rates down, way down, to about 1%. Why? Because low rates make borrowing easier. It juices the economy. Think Red Bull for Wall Street. But Powell? The Fed raised interest rates 11 times in 2022 just to fight inflation. It was like watching a dad say no to buying candy at the checkout aisle over and over again. And right now, inflation's at 2.7%. Core inflation, which ignores food and energy, is at 2.9%. That's above the Fed's 2% target. And here's the kicker. High inflation means your paycheck buys less every month. Up next, your savings account is lying to you. Let's say your high-yield savings account earns 3.5% a year, okay? You think you're winning, right? Wrong. After taxes, because yes, Uncle Sam always wants a piece, you're left with about 2.6%, which is less than inflation. So congrats. You're losing money at a slightly slower rate. Someone pop the champagne. Hey, if this is the kind of brutal honesty you never get from your banker, hit that follow button right now before they find out we're talking like this. All right, next, why investors love inflation. And you should too. So, why do investors love inflation? Because it drives up prices, which often drives up profits, which means stocks go, whee! In the last 5 years, inflation rose about 24%. The stock market, up over 90%. Meanwhile, wages haven't kept up, and people wonder why they're living paycheck to paycheck while Jeff Bezos is buying another yacht with a helipad. If that seems fair to you, then congratulations, you're officially asleep. All right, so what's the plan to survive this chaos? What can you actually do? Try this. Live on 75% of what you make. Invest 15% of what you make, but do that consistently. And then save 10% in a separate emergency fund. That's it. No lottery tickets, no next big crypto, just consistency. Look, if you haven't been following me and see my video entitled How the 75-15-10 Rule Can Change Your Life, I'll recommend that you go back and watch that one right after this video. It's very helpful for anyone who needs a financial roadmap. And before you invest, knock out your high interest debt, credit cards, I'm looking at you, and stash a few thousand into savings. To be even better positioned, invest in knowledge, watch my videos, read books, take courses, and even Google things if you have to, okay? Invest in stocks, ETFs, or index funds, real estate or even start a business, okay? These are all great ways to hedge against the onslaught. The 1% mistake people make is doing nothing, not making the wrong investment, but rather just sitting there, stuck, doing nothing. Let's circle back to our bold claim. The president doesn't control the economy. Powell and the Fed do. We've seen how Trump tried to pressure the Fed, how inflation refused to listen to either one, and how your bank account might actually be a frenemy. So, now I ask you, did I get it right? Or do you think someone else is really pulling the strings? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, make sure you come with receipts. Let's grow together. Until next Money Monday, thank you so much for watching. I've been Kevin with Money Tree and Me, providing better security and ensuring better lives. Make it a great day.